I am so grateful for your leadership and the ways in which we get to build together. It's funny now to remember standing in front of all of you, hundreds of guaranteed income advocates, that when Dorian and Aisha and many of us in this room started working on guaranteed income, that we were laughed out of rooms. Even though we were building on the legacy of so many advocates who had fought before us, we were told this idea was pie in the sky, impossible in the United States of America. But over time, as the pilots began handing out cash and the number of pilots grew and grew and grew and then some, and states began modernizing and expanding their tax codes to put money into people's pockets, people saw that our big idea was not only possible, that it was happening and it was working. Guaranteed income was and is changing people's lives, and it's reshaping our understanding of what is possible in this country. And it's that willingness to stand for what's possible, right? To imagine beyond the status quo that I want to call today front and center and ground us in our greatest potential and our boldest vision. Because even your presence here, the energy and the power in this room demonstrates for me that we can make real and meaningful progress when we hold tight to that vision and we fight for it. And I also know deep in my heart that we will not achieve that future until we grapple with our failures as a society to embrace our shared humanity. As Dorian said, present-day inequality is rooted in the deadly legacy of domination, of extraction, and of racism. The greatest predictor of one's economic ability, economic potential, and ability to live and thrive is the color of one's skin and the town one is born in. Being born Palestinian or any other identity should not deprive one of the right to live in peace and dignity. And seeking safety and shelter should not put you at the risk of losing a child or a loved one. So we cannot stand in this room today and talk about a big, bold future unless we acknowledge that all of this is predicated on the need for peace. So as you also heard from Dorian, people across this country are telling us something loud and clear. The system is broken, and we have to listen and act. We are living in the wreckage of the last 4 decades of neoliberal economic policymaking, right? And that can be summed up by total faith in the market, zero faith in government, and people left pulling themselves up by their proverbial bootstraps. And that has failed. Can we agree that neoliberalism has failed? That it has left us broke, it's left us in debt, and our society brittle, right? And it's pushed us to the very limits, nudging our democracy in a perilous direction and opening the door to authoritarianism. And it's abundantly clear that we are living in a period of profound change. And with that is incredible potential. We can choose a different path. You know, we in this room are part of a long lineage of ideas that remind us that the economy is not like the weather. It doesn't just happen to us. No, the economy is a lot more like building a house. It is something that we construct together. And the work that's already in progress to lay the foundation for that new house couldn't be more encouraging. So now is the time for us to build it. You know, I truly believe that the next American economy can center the inherent worth and dignity of everyone. It can choose to prioritize stability, right? It can unleash mass abundance and replace the scarcity that is caused by wealth hoarding. I call it the guarantee economy because it guarantees an economic floor that allows all of us, regardless of race, religion, or zip code, all of us, to build lives of dignity, agency, and freedom. And the guarantee economy is being built by people right here in this room today. People like Marcela Diaz, who mobilizes cash with and for immigrant communities in New Mexico. People like Hillary Jorgensen, who organizes people with disability to move millions of dollars into guaranteed income in Colorado. People like Danielle Atkinson, right here in Michigan, who's organizing the Mama's Caucus. And people like Liza Schwartzwald, who is fighting for a robust child tax credit across the state of New York that includes all kids, regardless of immigration status. These people are the creators, we are the creators of the guarantee economy. Now, these women and many others have the moral vision and the political will to bend our economy in service of our greatest American asset, our people. I've gotten the privilege of traveling the country and talking to organizers and advocates and policymakers who are working really hard to make ideas like guaranteed income, debt-free college, universal family care happen in their communities. Ideas that used to be seen as nothing more than a pipe dream. They are now not just possible, but starting to take shape. They are gaining momentum, and they remind each of us that we can do things differently when it comes to how our economy works and who it works for. And I don't have to tell you that people who can count on the guaranteed income checks, right, that come in alongside their wages, that it changes their economic trajectory, that they get better jobs, they get an advanced degree or a certificate, they put their child in an after-care school program like soccer or an art class, something they couldn't otherwise afford. They have the freedom and agency to make these decisions that otherwise they don't. Decisions that many of us don't even realize are decisions at all. So imagine if we coupled the entirety of the guarantee framework, access to housing, to affordable childcare, healthcare, an inheritance, a baby bond, an assurance of debt-free college and good work, how different our country would look, how different our towns, our households, our very own lives. And we don't just have to imagine it, right? It is something that we've experienced in bursts and starts over the last few years. In fact, all of us in this room had the taste of what a guaranteed health care would look like when our country was facing a once-in-a-generation health crisis and provided access to free vaccines and free COVID care across this country. Now, some of us in this room are among the 160,000 borrowers across the country that just had $7.7 billion in student debt forgiven by the Biden administration. You know what the guarantee economy could feel like. Let's hear it for debt forgiveness. Some of us in this room are among the 50,000 people who are currently receiving a guaranteed income. Imagine if your friends and family were getting that same monthly payment. You know what a new economy could look like. And it's no accident that it became clear. It's no accident that in the pandemic, when it became clear that it was also an economic crisis, that our lawmakers looked for a proven policy tool, one that was being tested in cities and states across this country, and started sending cash directly to families through the expanded child tax credit. That was a guaranteed income, and it was happening at the national scale. And yes, progress is not linear, and we were not able to make this policy permanent yet. This is not the end of our story. This is the messy and beautiful beginning of a new chapter in American economics. Together, we did something we were told was impossible. We brought child poverty in the US to an all-time low. We turned guaranteed income from a laughable idea to a proven policy with unstoppable momentum. So let that embolden us to ask, what else is possible? An economy that ensures our basic needs are met. A thriving democracy is possible. Shared prosperity is possible. So the task ahead of us is to hold tight to what's possible and build it together. Thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait for this day to unfold. Thank you.